What's going on is Anton from AntonDaniels.com. I appreciate you guys for continuing to rock with me. Thank you for tuning into the Millionaire Morning Show. I am your host, Anton Daniels, and I am looking forward to having a phenomenal live stream with you guys today. It is Friday, May 5th, 2023, year of our Lord, and we don't miss. We don't miss. It don't matter if I got to catch a flight today over in Dallas so that I can link up with y'all for the Patreon meetup on Saturday. It don't matter if we got work to do. It don't matter if we in corporate America. It don't matter if we got to work from home or we in the studio. We don't miss. We don't miss on any front. I'm very, very excited to be kicking it with y'all on Fridays. And one of the reasons why I like Fridays so much, for those of you that are daily watchers, right? And when I say daily watchers, I mean the people that's dedicated, the people that's really with me, the Kojaks, the Island Girl Qs, the Bellas, the Azriels, the Natashas, the Miss Blisses, the Mel Dukes, the Mr. What up, Mr. Palmer is in the building, the Stephen Days, the Heather Woods. What's up, all of y'all? What's up to my friends? Jordan Landry is in the building. Lil Black Duck 2001. Chris Thomas, Mindwalk, Demetrius Shaw, Almanize 70. What up, Almanize? Raphael Alba, Big Suggs, Angela East, Vanessa Marcel, Jimmy Howard, Wealth Building Journey, Noble Xavier, Trendy Locks. All of my people that rock with me on a daily basis. Ash, what up, Ash? Right? What up, Centennial G? What up to everybody that tap in with me on a regular basis? You guys know what time that we supposed to be streaming. Listen. We might have to cut this off. That's my other work computer. I got to cut that off because that's annoying. That's incredibly annoying. All right, so listen. I got a full show loaded up for y'all today, but one of the things that makes it so awesome is that on Fridays, after I cover all of my subjects, I get an opportunity to make the link or put the link in the description for y'all to be able to cam up and then be able to kick it. What up to my dog Quentin is in the building. What's up, everybody? All of the new people, all of the older people, all of the people that's been rocking with me for years. All of my friends, Sarah H is in the building. Listen, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Let's get the housekeeping out of the way. I will be dropping a link in the description for you guys to be able to cam up and give me your thoughts on anything, whether you want to hold me accountable, whether you disagree with the things that I've said throughout the week, whether you agree with me. I will make it available for you guys. I've carved out time for you guys to be able to cam up. So take your bonnets off, get your do-rags off, make sure you go and brush your teeth. Get some Vaseline on your lips. I use Vaseline on my lips, right? Make sure your teeth is pearly white. Get some Vaseline on your lips. Make sure you get in the shower, shave your head, get your beard done. We on top of things every single day. I wake up between 4:30 and 5 a.m. and then I get it from near all the way up until I hit my bed and put my chin on my pillow. We make sure we get it in. So make sure you hit a like for the YouTube algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications. Bag Chasers, we in Dallas this weekend, and I also like to fly out to different cities throughout the year to be able to connect with y'all. I will be announcing after the Patreon meetup this Saturday where we going to be going next. We going to turn this bitch out this weekend. We going to turn it out. Update. There is an update on the location. I updated it last night. So because there's possible inclement weather in Dallas, I did update the location to a different location that would be able to better accommodate us. Because initially we was going to have it outside so we can celebrate that Dallas weather, but because it's possibly going to be raining, I had to move it indoors, right? So make sure you dress to have fun. Make sure you dress to have fun, right? Don't be all extra and stuffy. Because I'm going to be having fun. Anybody that's ever met me in person, everybody that's ever came to a Patreon meetup, you know that we get it in. So it's going to be a great time. Also, make sure you jump into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. The best time to join a Patreon is in the beginning of the month, especially since I just did a webinar a few days ago breaking down exactly how much I make. I showed y'all my back end. I showed y'all my bookkeeping. I showed y'all my direct deposits. I gave y'all some incredible tips on how you can leverage social media in order to get to that bag. I make well over 6 figures a month just off social media alone. So you guys really, really need to tap in. Really, really need to tap in, because if you are not a bag chaser, if you are not the person that's rocking with us, then you absolutely need to tap in and make sure that you get into that bag. All right. So now that we got the housekeeping out of the way, again, make sure you hit a like or dislike for the YouTube algorithm. I haven't even tackled any subjects, and we already got 1 dislike. So if we can get that up to 5 for the Dusty Dusties, I appreciate you. Dislikes work just as well as likes. That's according to that's according to my YouTube rep. My YouTube rep said Anton, dislikes is just as good as likes, big dog. So make sure y'all hit a like or a dislike if you're a Dusty Dusty for the YouTube algorithm. Join the Patreon. No fumbling on a Friday. Some of y'all just got paid. Let's get to the money. All right. So listen, shout out to Carrie E. Spencer also. Before we get into the show, I understand, right? I truly understand. And let me tell you what I mean by saying that I understand. I don't resonate with everybody because this life isn't for everybody. I've told y'all previously that I don't come here for the 99, I come here for the 1. I don't come for the 99, I come for the 1. The insight in the game that I give, although it may be entertaining, the jewels and the gems and the medicine that's inside of the candy is for the 1, it's not for the 99. So when I'm speaking, right, or I'm elaborating, or I'm doing these shows, or I'm giving you insight and information, or I'm pouring into people, and when I mention the Patreon, I'm not talking about the Patreon for the overwhelming majority of people. I'm only mentioning it for the 1. The Patreon is for the minority. It's not for the majority. The game that we give, and the reason that it's so upsetting to so many people sometimes, is because it's not for the majority, it's for the minority, right? We don't do things in the Bag Chasers or over here on the Millionaire Morning Show or for Anton Daniels for the general population. We're not trying to reach everybody. We only trying to reach the ones that matter. I had a conversation with a guy 2 days ago, and it was on a coaching call. And I told him, I said, listen, fam, and he was like 22 years old. Yeah, he was like 22 years old. And I told him, I said, listen, big dog, I'm going to refund you your money. It was a second call that I had with him. I'm going to read Super Chat shortly. Thank you to Christian Bailey. It was a second call that I had with him, and he was 22 years old, and he was having a coaching call in the basement. He was in his basement with me, and I was in my office, and I told him, I said, listen, fam, I'm going to refund you your money. And he said, why, Anton? I said, because you don't want this. And he was like, what you mean? I'm the one that booked the call. I said, but, you know, the way that I determine whether or not I'm going to coach somebody is not based off of money, and that's why I actually cut it off to new people for at least the next few months, and I'm not taking any new coaching calls from people. I'm only doing people that have reoccurring calls or people that I've already had a coaching session with. And he said, what do you mean? I said, do you know how I charge for my coaching sessions? I said, I charge my corporate clients 3 times what and people in the Patreon, they know this. I've broken this down even in the last webinar. I said, I charge my corporate clients 3 times, more than 3 times what I'm charging regular everyday people. And the way that I put together the formula is the same way in which I determine how much an hour of your time is for your life. It's not based off of how much money you make at your regular job. It's not based off of what you get paid normally. It's based off of how much your time is worth, right? So I'm not making money on coaching calls that's not to corporate clients, right? I only ask people to substantiate my time, to not waste my time. If it costs me, right, X amount of dollars, whether I'm sleeping, whether I'm breathing, whether I'm playing with my daughter, whether I can work some more and be able to increase the value of my time by continuing to get to the bag, the only thing I ask people to do is to not waste my time. So anything that they send me is really just forcing them to be accountable for the time that I'm spending pouring into them when I can be doing something different. Completely different. A fraction of the cost of what it is that I'm charging my corporate clients. Never raise the price of the brick. Always, actually, to be honest with you, I'm actually undervaluing myself because I didn't even raise the price of the brick based off of what I made from last year. I'm going off of 2 years ago. And so I said, listen, I'm going to send you your money back. I volunteered it. And he said, but I don't understand. I said, because you're not ready for this game. You haven't failed enough. You don't know what it's like to be at the bottom yet. Right? You don't know what it means to actually grind and hustle and to and to put everything into it as though your life depended on it because you don't have nothing to lose. You don't know. You've been coddled your whole life. And this is to a guy. I said, you've been coddled your whole life. You've been raised by your mother. Your mother told you were special, even though you're not, right? You play video games all day. I said, if you couldn't, because it was a second call, I said, if you couldn't get the homework done that I gave you to do 2 months ago, and we sitting here having a conversation, but you was able to put in full sessions like it was a full-time job into your gaming and your clan, I'm not interested in coaching you, because now you become a reflection of me. If you out here in the streets and you've had multiple coaching calls with me and you still looking dusty and somebody say, hey, who's your coach? And they say Anton Daniels, you then make me look bad. And so everybody that rock with me, they have to be better than they were the last time that I talked to them. I need to see incremental progress. I need to see you working for this. I need to see that you're more dedicated to this than I am to you. If I'm more prepared for you than you are when I then get on a call with you, then that means that you don't want this. I'm not begging you. I'm not going to chase you around to do the thing that's best for you. I'm not interested in having a conversation with you because I got a waiting list of people that's actually trying to get this work. I got a waiting list of people that's trying to get this game. I got a waiting list of people that's really trying to tap in and do the thing that's in their own best interest. Why would I waste my time with you? Because you was lucky enough to catch one of my live streams and then send me an email in order to get a coaching session? You waited 3 months for this coaching session and you still ain't going to do the thing that's in your own best interest. So I said, listen, let me do you a favor. I'm going to send you your money back, even though you wasted my time. Have a nice life. Hopefully you can catch something on the Millionaire Morning Show that changes your mind. Because some of us, I'm going to be honest with you, it's a lot of us that really, really need to suffer. And the problem with society and the problem with life, and I told my pastor this one time when I was coming up as a young guy, I said, you know what the problem with people is? I said, they ain't suffered enough. You know why your son and your daughter is going to fail? Because they're not getting the lessons that you were supposed to give them as a result of what you learned by going through what you went through in order to build that empire. You just going to give it to them. They ain't got to work for it. They ain't got to suffer for it. Your son ain't going to know what it means to value anything because you gave him his first car. He never had to work for it. He never had to grind for it. He don't even know what the value of that thing is. He don't know what it means to trade in his time for money, to suffer, to have blood, sweat, and tears. He don't even really appreciate it because you gave him everything. You coddled him. This is why I tell women all the time that you don't know what it takes to be a man and you can't raise a man because you don't know what it means to have to go all the way down into the gutter. You don't know what it means that everybody is going to be dependent on you. And when y'all lose your house, they're not going to go to the woman and say, hey, what was wrong? Why you ain't pay the bill? They're going to come to the man and ask that question. They're not going to care about whether or not you wanted a partner when you was looking for a husband. They're going to say, hey, what the fuck is going on with your family and why is your family in shambles? Why are you over there sitting looking halfway decent and your family looking dusty? When a man has to go into that dark place and he has to be selfish about what it is that he wound up building, the woman is often the beneficiary of his greatness. And so it's necessary for a man to go into that dark place. It's necessary for a man to put away those childish things in order to become the man that he's supposed to be. And most people, especially in this coddled society, has no idea what it means to suffer. You don't know what it means to have no options, no availability, no prospects, and you just got to go and take a sales job that's 100% commission. You look down upon people that do sales because you don't know what it means to go out and get it out the mud. You don't know the lessons that came along with us that had to do with sales, door to door, grinding, hustling, trying to convince people to buy something that's not even best for them. And then they wind up rocking with you because they like you, not necessarily because you got the best product. You don't know what it means to actually get it out the mud. You don't know what it means to suffer. You don't know what it means to have somebody that's interdependent on you. And the determining factor for whether or not they going to eat is whether or not you go out there and grind every day. And that's why people don't understand. They say, Anton, why you won't never take a vacation? Because I don't know what it feels like to take a vacation. What the fuck is a vacation? Why is that even in the dictionary? You mean that we taking time out just to look at stuff? Man, I can look at stuff on my way to go and get in the bag. Take me to my destination over it and get a bag, and I'll look at the scenery on the way. I ain't missing just because I'm over in the Dominican Republic. I ain't missing just because I'm gonna be over in Tokyo. I ain't you think that I missed a live stream? I ain't missed not one fucking live stream. How are you gonna chase me down and be better than me if I'm outworking you? One of the things that me and Kevin Samuels, rest in peace to Kevin Samuels. One of the things that me and Kevin Samuels used to talk about all the time when we first would get on the phone, he would say, man, I know you ain't gonna let no 52, 53-year-old man outwork you. I said, dog, you might get more subscribers than me, you might get more views than me, but it ain't gonna be because you outwork me. It ain't gonna be because you was better than me at what you did. It was gonna be because it's your time, boss, and you took advantage of the opportunity that's in front of you. Most of y'all are smarter than me. Overwhelming majority of y'all are smarter than you. You better than me, you smarter than me, you taller than me, you faster than me, you talk better than me. Your ability to be able to connect with people is much more intriguing to other people, but you will never, ever, ever touch my souls. You can't even look at my jockstrap, nigga, because you ain't never gonna put the work in that it takes in order to be even close to the level that I'm at. You ain't gonna bust down the bags that I get. You ain't gonna get the opportunities that's presented to me because you depended on your talent instead of your work ethic. I take a nigga that work hard over a dude that's talented 10 times out of 10 because I can teach you what you need to know. But the one thing that you can't teach is work ethic. You can't teach desire. You can't teach that. Ladies, let me tell y'all something. Hold on, let me kick it with you for a minute because I don't be knowing what I'm gonna say before I get on here. I pray and I say, yo, God, lead me and give me what I need in order to reach one person a day that changed their life and give them a different perspective. Let me tell you something, bro. Let me tell you the real. This is what's really happening. Is somebody out there right now that's looking to take your spot. They nipping at the bit and you don't even realize it. Everything we do is a competition. Everything we do is a competition. It's an opportunity to take something out of somebody else's. I know you don't like it, but we all animals. We are monsters. We are all inherently monsters. Life is a competition. This is not a kumbaya. This is not a fun-filled expenditure. And oh my God, life is no. You coddle. Life is a competition. It's somebody that's looking to take your bitch. It's somebody that's looking to take your money. They looking to take your spot. They want to take your penthouse. They want to take your car. They chomping at the bit to take an opportunity out of you. And you know what they gonna do when they get it? When they get any piece of you, they gonna get more hungry because they gonna realize that that tastes good, and they don't even realize how good that tastes. They want everything from you. They want everything that was ever allocated to you. And you know what the sad part about the conversation is that they gonna get it. They gonna get it. They want your spot. They want everything that was allocated to you. It was yours, and it was yours to lose, but it's theirs to take. That's the difference. People that win understand that it's mine to take. It's yours to lose. Listen, I'm going to fail 100 times before I get that one win. I'm cool with that. You got to lose once. I got to win once. You got to fuck up once because it's yours to lose, because you're not looking at it like from a opportunity perspective. You trying to protect what you already got and you think that you're safe. I can fail 100 times. All I got to do is be successful once. It's a nigga that's sitting around your chick right now and they friends. And he waiting for you to mess up so he can whisper that little something in her ear and say, man, that nigga ain't deserve you anyway. That's the nature of what business is in regular everyday life. It's a dude that is in the friend zone that is chomping at the bit for the opportunity to just whisper something in that little chick ear. He ain't around your chick because he just really like her and she cool and they just friends and they've been friends for a long time and that's my friend. No, that nigga waiting to fuck your bitch, nigga. He waiting for you to fuck up. That's the nature of life. Somebody is waiting in every aspect of your life, in your business, in your opportunity. If you open up a restaurant, you competing for customers. You want content creation, you competing for eyeballs. In every way possible. It's yours to lose and it's mine to take. I'm a monster. I am admittedly a motherfucking monster. I am a savage. You know why people can't beat me on these panels? You know why it's impossible for you to defeat me? Because I'm willing to die. You feel like you got something to lose when you on these panels. When you debating with me, you trying to preserve your reputation. You don't want to look bad. Somebody is over there in the room with you trying to make you feel good. I don't give a fuck. I will go to the deepest, darkest place in life in order to destroy you. I have nothing to lose. I come from the bottom. I come from inner city Detroit. I had nothing to lose. I'm willing to die for my position in this world, knowing that if I get murdered tomorrow, I'm just going to be a martyr and I'm going to be greater as a result of it. And my wife and my daughter is well taken care of, and I got great insurance policies. It's nothing you can do. The only thing you can do is stay out of my way. It's impossible to fight a terrorist. You know why? Because you got something to lose and you thinking about your daughter at home, and the only thing that nigga thinking about is killing you. I am an admitted financial savage. I am a monster. I will go to the depths of hell to destroy you, and everything that you ever stood for is mine. I want it all. I want everything that you ever stood for is mine. I'm coming for it. And you know what I'm going to do when I'm going to get it? I'm going to bust it down with my bag chasers. You know why? Because I got a bunch of savages behind me. And they all think like me. And they all monsters like me. And so I'm going to keep my wolves fed. And my wolves is going to go and hunt. And they're going to look for an opportunity. And everything you say and everything you do, they send it to me. And everything you think that you're doing that you safe from, we just continuing to gather information. And the minute that you slip, I'm taking everything you fucking got because it's mine to have and it's yours to lose. You don't even own it yet. It's mine. I'm just waiting to go and collect on it. How you feel about it? And you know what the funniest thing about it is? Nothing you can fucking do about it. There's nothing you can do about it. All you can do is sit there and watch as we devour everything that you thought that you had, because there's nothing that you can do about it. It's only time. It's already mine. It's only time. How does that make you feel? How does that make you feel? How does it make you feel to believe and know that you out there begging and waiting for somebody to give you something, and we just out here just destroying, devouring, and taking every fucking thing that we want? We taking shit that we don't even want, and we give it to the wolves, and we bust down that bag. It ain't nothing that you can fucking do about it. You sitting there waiting on the federal government to give you something, waiting to determine whether or not the Supreme Court is going to make a decision on your student loan payments. Man, I don't give a fuck about the Supreme Court. I don't care what decision that they make. I ain't waiting on Biden to give me nothing. You think I give a fuck about who the president is? I don't care nothing about that. Why would I care? I'm coming to get whatever I'm going to get no matter what. You know, the greatest thing in the world is traveling the world, because you realize that there's more wolves out there that's just like you. And so it's easy takings. It's easy pickings. I don't fight with other wolves. I just recruit them. Hey, you a wolf? Oh. You want to be a part of the wolf pack? It's lucrative on this side. It's lucrative on this side. That's what it is, man. Listen, you're not ready for this life. Stop pretending like you that. Stop pretending like you ready. Stop pretending like you ready to crash out for what you really believe. And when I say crash out, I'm not talking about crashing out on no gang type stuff. I'm talking about crashing out on what do you have to lose because you already at the bottom and you don't even realize it. You think you solidly middle class and you at the bottom, bro. Every tax that's being implemented is hitting your pockets. Every piece of inflation is hitting your pockets. You are at the bottom. You don't have nothing else to lose. You trying to preserve the little pennies that you got instead of acting like you a savage and then going out there and getting what it is that you need. Financially, as a capitalist, as a person that needs to be educated in order to kick in the door so that you can make the investments in your daughter, and so your kids don't have to do the things that you didn't do in order to pay for their student loans, so that they ain't voting a bad way in order to get Biden to forgive them for something that they wasn't supposed to be in the first place. Your kids deserve better. Your chick deserve better. Your parents deserve better. They believed in you. They put so much in you. They sacrificed for you. And you gonna sit here and tell me that it's okay to be average? Man, fuck that. I need it. I need everything. And the more I get, the more hungry I become. God's biggest problem with me is he going to have to slow me down. God going to have to say, yo, Anton, slow down, big dog. Pull me back. Don't motivate me to go get it. Pull me back. God gonna have to pull me back. He gonna say, hey, listen, you going too hard. You're not ready for this life. You really, 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 really not ready for this life. So before you ever reach out to me trying to get advice or a coaching call, or if you think that I'm speaking to the majority of people, I'm not. I'm not. I'm not speaking to everybody. I'm speaking to the wolves. I'm speaking to the wolves. All right. Let me read some of the super chats and then we're going to get started with the show. Shout out to Christian Bailey for the 10 ball. I appreciate you. Jeremy H says, I heard commercial real estate is the first domino before the crash. I'm going to get into that. Before we get into this Steve Harvey conversation, I'm going to get into that. Shout out to Jeremy. Raphael says, as iron sharpens iron, so another sharpens another. Appreciate you for the 2 ball. Pretty Boy 79 says you made some more money. It's just a little thanks. Shout out to Pretty Boy with the 20 ball. First super chats of the day. Wealth Building Journey says hustle beats talent when talent doesn't hustle. And talent don't even know that they can't hustle the way that we hustle. King James 93 says, shout out to you. I'll rock with you. Thank you for the super chat. I appreciate you. Let's get into it, y'all. Let's get into the show. I know y'all thought that we was getting started with the show right there, but we not. We gonna get into it. So let's talk about commercial real estate. We got to get to the money before we get to the fuck shit. I will be opening up the chat for you guys to be able to jump up on the panel today and give me your thoughts. Maybe you think that I'm wrong. Feel free to come up here and express your thoughts. Just make sure that you brush your teeth, that you wash your hair, that you comb your hair, and we get into it. Let's get into it, y'all.
Joining us today, Carroll founder and CEO Patrick Carroll, whose company manages more than 33,000 multifamily units across 9 states. Patrick, great to have you. Those are big words. Talk about what needs to crack in order for us to get to that end point.
Unfortunately, in this situation we're in, things have to bottom out, and they haven't bottomed out yet. I was just reading, there's $1.5 trillion of debt maturing on commercial real estate and by 2025. So sellers are not realizing how much their properties have lost value, and they're not willing to dump their properties yet because they haven't felt enough pain. They're about to start feeling pain. These lenders are spooked. There's no lending going on. There's no transactions going on. And it's going to be ugly. I mean, it's going to be at least as bad as 08, 09. People don't want to say that, but downturns always are worse than the one before, and upturns are always better. I've rode the wave of price appreciation, rent growth, things like that since 2011. Well, the party's over, unfortunately. It's going to be okay in multifamily, but the office market is going to be destroyed. Hotels are going to be destroyed. It's going to be ugly.
Sorry about that. I'm muted. When I was younger, and I appreciate you, E. I'm reading super chat shortly. When I was younger, one of my biggest dreams was to own a hotel until I realized what it took to own a hotel, right? Everybody always asks, because my main thing is single family homes. That's my bread and butter. I know it. I see it. I appreciate it. I love it. It is very, very stable, and it is the one thing that I know for sure that will always, always appreciate over time. Because no matter what, with all of the different assets that we have, the watches, the stock portfolio, all of that, you can try to pick this and that and so on and so forth. And I would also advise you guys to tap into the Patreon and look at the video of the 8 things that I look for when I'm looking to invest in a company, especially a stock. The last thing that people are willing to let go, or the last thing that people will do, is go homeless. Okay? Single family homes are quite possibly the safest investment vehicle, in my personal opinion, as possible. Now, people then ask me and they say, well, Anton, what about commercial real estate? I've never, ever liked commercial real estate. I've never liked commercial real estate, and let me tell you why. Commercial real estate is one of the riskiest business models that you can have. And when I say commercial real estate, I'm talking specifically about office buildings or being able to have certain entities in which you're renting out or leasing out to restaurants, business owners, boutiques, all of that type of stuff, right? Because the first thing that people are willing to let go when things start to get bad is that business, because it's easier to transition into still having that, especially in 2023, to an e-commerce model. I wouldn't even advise people to open up a business unless they have some form of e-commerce that they can lean on that also allows for that business to maintain and continue to be profitable. As a matter of fact, the e-commerce aspect of whatever business that you drive in, even if it's a restaurant, you can always move a restaurant to a cheaper location or anything like that, right? You can always continue to walk away from businesses depending on how you got it set up and it not affect your personal life. Yeah, the business may be crashing itself, but the first thing that people start to let go is the commercial real estate. This man specifically just said that he manages over 33,000 multifamily and single family units. That is the thing that people started putting their money in. Even institutional investors, they started putting their money into single family homes. Commercial real estate, as a matter of fact, the thing that people are starting to mull over right now, but the problem is that they can't get the financing in order to be able to do it and have the conversion. Even Elon Musk, when he took over Twitter, he stopped paying for the headquarters. Like, he was like, listen, ain't nobody even working in the office right now, or in this particular office, or this office that we have, we got rid of like 5,000 employees. We don't even need all of this office space, even though we have a lease for it. Sue me, fuck you, pay me, right? And so I think that commercial real estate is very, very risky. Is there a lot of people that got rich as a result of it? Of course. Of course there are. There's people that has gotten rich in every single sector of investment that you can think about. But I think that the piper is coming. I think that personally, commercial real estate is about to bust. And what people are starting to do, especially in major cities, is they're trying to transition commercial real estate over into either apartment buildings or some form of condo, and they're trying to make unique living spaces out of it, which I think is a great idea if they can secure the financing as a result of it. But lenders are weary, banks are crashing, inflation is high, the cost of borrowing is out of control, and so as a result, it is a very, very risky play. And as this young gentleman right here just said, the piper is coming.
Yeah. Well, now you mentioned 0809 when we really were talking about residential exposure. It will be different in the respect now that you're really looking at CRE, right?
Yeah, but I mean, when people start handing the keys back on their mortgages because they can't pay the interest on them, you see your neighbor, get his house foreclosed on. You see your neighbor sell for 20% less than you bought the property for. People start walking away from their houses. It happened, 08, 09, that was what caused the downturn. People thought the housing market was too big to fail. No one would ever bet against the housing market. Well, we saw people give their keys back. If you lose your job and you can't pay your mortgage, you're going to walk away, and especially if you're underwater.
So, Patrick, a lot of the focus right now, and particularly in terms of some of the Wall Street notes and where regional banks, for example, are concerned, has been on office space and retail space, and this idea of a re-rating or a need for those values and those prices to fall. The fact that you're in multifamily, are you seeing signs of weakness right now, whether it's renters or whether it's buyers of your units, or is this still a shoe to drop way far out? Like, what are you seeing?
Well, I talked to one of the biggest landlords in the world.
I know that I'm muted. I'm trying to let this play.
Yesterday, he's a good friend. He's a mentor, and his phrase was, what he's telling everybody is stay alive till 25. Okay, so based off that, it feels like right now our fundamentals are great. People are paying rents. The market is healthy. What you have is a liquidity crisis. You have no transactions. There's no debt available. Cap rates have expanded over 5%. A year ago, they were at 3%. So if you do the math, that's almost 40% drop in value. No lender is willing to lend because they don't know where interest rates are going. And no one knows how to value these properties because no one knows where real estate, valuations are ended up.
Somebody in the chat says, Anton, how do you feel about owning land? I feel great about owning land. I think that the problem with owning land for some people is that it's a hold and wait game. Let me tell you the thing about owning land. Owning land is good if you're looking to park some money. And it's also good if you're looking to develop that land long term, or if you're looking to hold on to it until you're a speculative buyer. Okay. I own land. I'm starting to buy land. But one of the reasons why I'm buying a lot of land is because I'm actually looking to develop that land and put single family homes or multifamily homes on it. Right. The difference, though, is that if you just buy land, you're not necessarily getting any kind of return on your investment unless you sell that land or you develop it, because you're not in the interim getting any payments on it. So like, for example, if I buy land, then I'm just holding it until I do something with it, right? I can sell it for more, I can develop it or whatever, so on and so forth, right? The other side of that question is, if you just owning land and it's just owning, you're just sitting on it, what kind of payments are you getting as a result of it, right? If I got a single family home, yeah, you still got to pay property taxes on the land. You don't have to pay as much because it's not valued as high as if you were to have a single family home on it. But when you get that land, what are you going to do with it, right? If you're just owning the land for the sake of owning the land, then you're just a speculative buyer or you're just parking money. The other side of the equation is if you own a single family home, yeah, you got to pay the property taxes on it. Yeah, you got to pay the insurance on it, but it's also paying for itself. Even if you have a mortgage on it, I suggest that you then don't have a mortgage on it at all. Some people don't have the availability to be able to do that, or you need to pay the mortgage off as soon as possible. But the other side of it is that I'm getting a payment every single month that allows for me to justify the investment in that specific property. Right now, you need to do your calculations. You need to understand the true cost of owning a home so you really can make an informed decision. But just owning land for the sake of owning land, I think that that's a long-term play, and you got to be a speculative buyer as a result of it. So that's my thoughts on it.
It's all based on interest rates. Office is a double whammy. The fundamentals are terrible. After COVID, people work from home. The work week is now Tuesday to Thursday. Okay, and so people are taking less office space. No one wants to lend on it. It's a disaster. At least in multifamily, the fundamentals are strong, and I think they'll continue to be strong.
The reason why people like multifamily is two reasons, right? Especially institutional investors, but even individual investors. The first thing that people like to do is they like to house hack, right? And house hacking is basically you finance a multifamily home and you live in one, and then you have the rents high enough in the other units to where you can actually basically live for free because it covers the rent or it covers the mortgage payment in its entirety, because it's basically being divided up amongst the other units. That's house hacking. The reason why people like multifamily units as institutional investors, or let's just say larger real estate investors that's more than just somebody that's house hacking, is because you're basically utilizing the same land, but you're making more money as a result of it because you're dividing it up into different units instead of it just being one single family home. Okay, I like single family homes because that's all I've ever basically invested in. I've never invested in a multifamily unit because I don't believe in investing in something that I don't truly understand long term. And so long term, one of the things that I'm doing is, because I'm building this property and because I'm going to break it down and I'm documenting the process to then give to you guys in a Patreon, I want to understand the true cost of what it takes to build a single family versus what it takes. And this is out of pocket 100%. This is no financing to the bank. And then how do I expand that, right? How do I expand that knowledge into multifamily units? What are the zoning requirements? What do I have to do in the city to work for it? What kind of permitting process comes along with it? How does it affect certain neighborhoods? Because certain neighborhoods and cul-de-sacs and homeowners association fees and everything like that. So it's a lot of understanding that I'm still trying to get into before I start to give information about it. The one thing that you'll never see me do inside of the Patreon is speak on something that I'm not 100% familiar with or I have not 100% mastered because I haven't done it yet. I don't believe in giving advice and things that you have not mastered yet. There are people that I know that I work with that is more well versed in what it is to be in or to develop multi units or get outside of single family homes. My comfort level right now is parking money in single family homes.
Yeah, that is the one thing about this cycle that makes you think maybe it doesn't rhyme with priors, right? This idea that, look at the JP Morgan memo yesterday asking managing directors to come back for 5 days a week. How much of the total problem in office, how much would you assign to this notion that you never really return to full office capacity?
It's at least 75% of the problem, right? Like, once you allow people to work from home, they're never going back.
Never.
And they can send out emails, they can do whatever. People are not going to go sit in the office.
No, listen. I don't care how much they try to mandate people to go back. Let me tell you why it's incentivized for people to try to go back into the office. Why I even recommend I go into my office downtown, right? I can cook up this show anywhere. I do it every day, right? I'm doing it right now. You see are those my bags? Those are my daughter's bags. You see the priority, the yellow priority Delta tags on them. I can do this from anywhere. I can literally do this from anywhere. I prefer to work in the office because it allows for me to be a lot better at my networking, shoot more shows, have more creativity. I believe that guys need to separate themselves from their families in order to be more productive. If you always in your chick's face. So it's multiple different reasons, right? It's a whole bevy of reasons why I believe in going into the office personally. But most people, and you hear me say this all the time, I'm not here to give game to the majority. I'm here to give game to the minority. So the things that I do that's in my own best interest allows for me to capitalize when other people are still being comfortable in their homes, right? Most people are never going to go back into the office because they don't see a reason to. The federal government, your city, and even the companies understand that it's more productivity in going into the office. The federal government specifically in these cities also understand that the more people that are out and about, that means you out buying gas, you out spending money, you going out to lunch, you going to museums, it's more fun. It's a lot more fulfilling to be out and about and doing things throughout the day that gives you a better sense of how you can live your life, and you get way more out of life by going out and going into the office and working in the downtown area and everything like that. And the cities and the businesses thrive as a result of it. When LeBron James left Cleveland the first time, right, it literally was a drain on the city because so many people would come out and there was so many businesses depending on the Cleveland Cavaliers and the revenue that was generated from watching them on TV and all of this other type of stuff. It was a boom because people would go out to the bars and they would go to the after parties and they would buy tickets to the arena and the concessions, right? And they would do so many other things that also was based off of the fact that the Cleveland Cavaliers, when LeBron James got drafted into a city, which is one of the reasons why teams or you see so much development or you see people trying to make sure that they do certain things in order to incentivize certain people to come into the city or certain businesses to come into the city. When you see a company says, okay, we'll give you a tax break to develop this area, or we'll give you a tax break to be able to bring your business in here. The city and the company benefits. A lot of people don't even understand. They'll say something like, well, I can't believe they're giving the businesses all this money. Well, the payrolls and the benefits that come along with the tax revenue and all of the money that's generated as a result of those workers being in the city, one of the best things that happened in Detroit and what spearheaded the growth in Detroit to where it's absolutely awesome today and most people don't even realize it, is when Dan Gilbert moved Quicken Loans and Rocket Mortgage into downtown Detroit, right? And he was incentivized to do so not only because of the tax incentives that came along with it, but he was incentivized to do so from the federal government and because he started getting into commercial real estate. And so he used multiple different aspects of his business in order to drive the growth in his real estate empire because he bought up all of the buildings for cheap. He developed them and then he turned the majority of them into dwellings or apartment buildings or whatever it is. And he did a really, really great job as a result of it, which then incentivized the Detroit Pistons to move from Auburn Hills, which was a suburb of Detroit, way, way, way further than Detroit, to come back into the city. The Lions moved back into the city. The Red Wings, then they developed Little Caesars Arena, right? Then the riverfront and everything, and all of the things that Kwame Kilpatrick had set forth is now coming into fruition. So all of these different things, you had the casinos come in, right? You got Canada right across the street. Everything is starting to move in a direction. And so Detroit is literally thriving because they were incentivized, and they had a mayor and different mayors that came along and different city council members. And then they also got incentives from Lansing to then move back into the city, which then created a thriving environment for the city to come back itself, right? Payrolls went up. Buildings are being developed. You see some of the tallest buildings is being built downtown Detroit right now. Greektown, right? They wind up selling a casino, and then Gilbert profited off of that. So you also have to have other things that play into it if you are going to be a commercial real estate developer, or you're going to get into commercial property, because then you can start to control the base or how people go about doing things within those entities that allow for you to be a lot more profitable. When you are a smaller person or a smaller developer or a person that's in single family homes like me, I don't have the ability to bring employees into a downtown environment that then helps to foster, what it is that's going to bolster the tax rolls and allow for that specific environment to thrive. You know what I'm saying? So you have to have regional cooperation, and this is why they then are incentivized in order to pay for or throw money behind who it is that's going to get elected, who's going to be the mayor, who's going to be the city council. They bring people in to stomp for, or they throw money in behind candidates. Trump is notorious, before he wound up becoming a president, or before he wound up running for president, he's notorious for both supporting the Democratic agenda or the ticket and the Republican side of the ticket, because he understands things from a business perspective, right? He understands that he needs the incentives, or he needs certain legislation or lobbying or whatever it is that he needs to be passed, or money to be donated down here, or for them to be allocating resources over here in order for him to thrive within his business role or his business empire. That's why he said he understands the swamp. He understands how these legislators work. He understands how politics work. Everything comes back down to the money. Everything comes back down to the money. You know what I'm saying? So when you start to have these conversations, you just can't have it based off of what you think makes sense. You have to understand how the money works on every level. The commercial side, if you're going to get into it, you got to be a big dog, right? You have to have some sway. You have to be able to determine and understand who's going to get into office. You got to understand what incentives it's going to take in order for you to develop this property. Why are they sitting on that land, and why are they not developing it? Are they devaluing it so that they can gentrify the area and then come up as a result of it, right? Who are they looking to get in an office, and who are they tied to, and why is it so lucrative for them to do so, right? So when you have these conversations, you start to look at it from a business perspective, it's a completely different mindset of what success looks like, because then the people that control the money and the people that control the jobs are the ones that control how it is that we're then going to live our lives on a regular basis. And you don't even realize that the thing that you're being programmed in the way in which you think is largely being given to you. It's not something that you're really deciding on your own. Most people don't even know how to think for themselves. They're looking at social media for inspiration, as far as Instagram and all of this other. You don't even know how to travel on your own. You don't even think about this like this, really. And then you can really start to put it in perspective. When you go to a new place, or when you go to a new city, or when you're trying to go into an unfamiliar place, and let's just say you're trying to find something to eat, what's the first thing that you do? You go on Yelp. You go on an application, you go on Yelp or somewhere that you found on TikTok that then incentivizes you to go and patronize that business, or you looking for the ratings and all of this other type of stuff. So all of that stuff is literally money. Is money being incentivized? Is advertisements? Is money flowing into the thing? And so you have to then extrapolate that and then look at it on a much, much larger scale. Everything is incentivized for you to do so. If I'm starting a new restaurant, I know I'm kind of going off on a tangent, but just roll with me right now, okay? If I'm starting a new restaurant, and now I am a silent investor instead of running it myself. If I'm starting a new place, right, or if I'm starting a new business, you know what the first thing that I'm gonna do is? I'm going to contact whoever the major influencers are in that specific city, and I'm gonna throw them a bag. The problem with our culture and the problem with a lot of black people is that they don't want to actually invest in themselves. They don't want to spend the money in order to make the money. They think that their family is supposed to support. Oh, my family ain't even coming down here in order to support. Your family ain't gonna support you. Right? Business operates much differently than what you think. The first thing that I would do is I would find an influencer that then can determine what happens in a culture or incentivize people to do stuff, and then I would throw them a bag. You know why I would throw them a bag? Because I know that they're going to bring the visibility and the eyes, and they're going to influence the people that actually matter, and that's going to spend the money to come over and then patronize the business, which I then can capitalize off of. And you never get a second chance to make a first impression. Right? If you just depended on your friends and family and word of mouth and all of that, that don't work in 2023. You got to throw that bag, man. You got to go and give that back. If I'm a person that's starting a clothing company, well, that's Patreon level game. I'm not going to go into that. So shout out to all of the influencers. Shout out to the people that's chasing bags. I want to tackle one more subject before we continue. And I want to tackle inflation, because one of the reasons why lenders aren't lending and that there's a cash crunch and there's a possible breakdown of the fabric of the United States of America all the way from a personal level up to commercial real estate is inflation. And people try to wonder why, because the Fed raised it 25 basis points. They raised the rates another 25 basis points recently, in which that kind of fell under the radar for the general public. But I want to go over inflation a little bit and break it down and why it's so sticky. And I think that this is a good video to do so. And then we're going to get into the whole Steve Harvey conversation, and I'm going to let y'all come up and give y'all thoughts. Make sure you hit a like for the YouTube algorithm, subscribe to the channel, turn on your notifications. I'm going to be reading Super Chat shortly. I see y'all. Let's get into it.
Everything is more expensive. Prices overall are about 13% higher than they were in April 2021, with the cost of groceries rising by nearly 20% over that time, and the cost of gas up 22%. It's even expensive to stay home. For example, the cost of electricity has surged 21%.
Reducing inflation is the number one long-term objective of central banking right now. And that's true in the US as well as globally.
Sometimes inflation is like a shock because it destroys the consumer's real income.
We look back in the early days of inflation, the Fed was using this term transitory to describe inflation, because they thought a lot of the things that were causing prices to go up in the near term were related to the pandemic. They thought eventually that stuff would just dissipate. Well, it really hasn't.
The Federal Reserve.
They never thought that it would dissipate. They knew that they can kick the can down the road and that somebody else would have to deal with it. Right now, the federal government is, and I'm gonna break this down from a C student's perspective. Don't believe half of what you see, a minimal about what you hear, right? And then try to use your context clues in order to come to a conclusion. Let me break it down for you. One of the benefits, right? Because if you look at like Russia and China and some other countries or whatever like that, they don't have term limits. Let me tell you why that's a problem. Right? Because it's a yin and yang to everything. I don't think that they have term limits in Congress. That's a problem. But then it's a problem that we do have term limits when it comes to being a president of the United States if you don't get the right candidate, right? And several other positions. And I'm going to tell you why that's a problem, all right? One of the reasons why that's a problem is because whomever it is in office has no incentive to do the thing that's right for you long term. The only thing that they thinking about is their legacy or the short term impacts and trying to get reelected again, right? Biden, for example, as old as he is on the tail end of his life. Okay, let me use him for an example. The debt ceiling in the United States continuously running out of money and continuing to raise the debt ceiling while black people is over here begging and asking for reparations is the perfect example to use in this situation. There is term limits, which means that each president can only be elected twice, which means that they probably only have a total of about 8 years in office. And because they have 8 years in office, they don't have to deal with the direct issues that's facing Americans or facing your children long term. And Americans and people in general are, what have you done for me right now? How am I feeling right now? They're largely not people that make long-term sacrifices for the benefit of the people that come after them, right? And so what you see is they'll continue to do the thing that makes you feel good. Is it possible for you to get reparations if you fight for it hard enough? Possibly. But who's going to pay for that? Because it's certainly not going to be you. When we look at our Social Security system, right, we're funding now people that came before us because the system is not actually solvent. So they robbing from us. They're literally doing the thing that several people have been convicted of in business. They have a Ponzi scheme coming. And so what they do is they say, we're going to rob from you in order to pay us now. And then whoever comes after us will have to figure out how it is that we can solve for it. And so it's just continuing to be a house of cards that stack on top of each other. So when you hear him say stuff like they thought that inflation was this, they didn't. They understood what it was, and they understood that continuing to print money and lowering or devaluing the cost of money or the value of a dollar in order to kick the can down the road to temporarily put a Band-Aid over a problem is not actually a solving the problem. What it is just continuing to pass the buck on to somebody else. And so you very rarely, or you will never hear inflation being at 1%, or they'll say a target of 2% or something like that. Or you never hear the national deficit going down. You see they continue to talk about raising a debt ceiling. Or we're going to have a stop in the government in order for things to continue to go if they don't pass these legislative branches because we put this inside of the budget in order for the Democrats and it's the Republicans and all of this and all. They all in bed together. They understand that they're not even going to live long enough to actually have to deal with the problems that they created for the general public today. And so they are incentivized to do the thing that make you feel good now because you the one that's going to continue to give them a bag and allow for them to continue to be in office. Whereas the people that come afterwards are going to do the same thing, and it's just going to be a compounding effect until everything comes crashing down, which is one of the reasons why term limits can be good or bad, depending on what the true objective of the person that got in office. If I was running for office today, I would never get elected based off of saying that, listen, we got to do the thing that's in the best interest of our children that come after us. Because then that would mean that you would have to suffer temporarily, or you couldn't do the thing that really made you feel good in order to make sure that somebody else's grandkids benefited as a result of it, right? If the true solution, right, is for us to do the thing that is in the best interest of the people that come after us. That used to be the American way. We used to live and die in order to make the sacrifices for the people that came after us. But what we learned as a society, and then even as it came to inflation and money and all of this other type of stuff, is that the people that came after us didn't give a fuck about us, because if they did, then they would vote for the things or they would vote in general because people actually died for them to vote, for example, right? They would do the thing that's in our own best interest financially instead of running in the victim Olympics when people didn't even have the opportunity to do so. And so what we found as a nation is that people don't do the thing that's in their best interest. They do the thing that they forced to do when they don't have any other option. So if anybody is to actually give you the truth, if they was to tell you the truth and they would say, listen, we need to get in office, or we need to vote in a person that's office that's going to do the best thing as far as fighting terrorism and continuing to have this long-term war in order to make sure that China and Russia don't completely own the entire world because they're buying up Africa, and America owes China a ton of money and debt and all of this other type of stuff. And so we need to lower the national debt and get it from under the thumb of China so that they can't just come over here and pass laws for people that don't even make up the majority of the population, and you able to easily pass through an Asian hate crime bill. I wonder why that is, but they ain't got a black people bill or a white people bill or just a general hate crime bill. It's an Asian hate crime bill, or the LGBT community. Is because they're doing things in order to bolster their voter base to make them continue to get into office instead of doing the thing that's in the best interest of you long term. Nobody will ever get into office by telling you the truth. Everybody is going to get into office in politics by telling you the thing that makes you feel good right now. Oh yeah, we need to take money from the military in order to make sure that we bolster social programs over here in the United States. Shit. Don't you know that the military is the thing that keeps us, or that allows for us to have the power that we have nationally and internationally? That they don't have any choice but to continue to fund the military? They don't necessarily want to give a bunch of money to the military. They don't have no choice. But let's continue.
Is using the most powerful tool it has to slow down the inflation creep. interest rate hikes.
It is a very effective way. The problem is it's as much an art as a science. Different parts of the economy respond differently to changes in interest rates.
One of the things that people don't understand is that inflation really might be benefiting them in ways they don't fully acknowledge. There are winners and losers. There are certainly people in the economy for whom this is the major challenge, and there are people in the economy for whom this is a big opportunity.
So why does inflation stick around? Is anyone benefiting from it? It can occur for a number of reasons. One is supply and demand issues, meaning there's too much money to go around or not enough things to go around. Another catalyst, the cost of doing business increases, which leads to companies raising their prices. All of those things happened at scale in the past 3 years. Prices skyrocketed in a very volatile environment. But now that we're past the worst of the pandemic-induced stressors, prices are still struggling to stabilize.
It's difficult for businesses to figure out how to set exactly the right price.
When do the prices of things change? Some goods change prices frequently. If you go to the gas station, it's different every time. If you think of other things that we pay for, like college tuition or rents, or even something simple like the cost of a movie ticket, those things have lower frequency resets.
Also,
And when he said lower frequency resets, let me reset it for the C students. What he's really telling you is that the price of those things is never going to come down. The price of the brick is never going to come down. It only goes up. Even when you're talking about gas, when you're talking about food, it does like this. And it continues to go up. It may fluctuate every single time you go, but it's fluctuating up. It never goes down. You never see prices go down. You don't see deflation, you see inflation, right? It's very, very difficult to, if you went to the movies tomorrow, right? And let's say the price, let's just use a round number. Let's say the price of a movie ticket is $10, right? And because of inflation is that they got to pay workers more money, right? They have to spend more money to make more money in order to have IMAX theaters and rumble seats. And popcorn and food is costing more money and electricity costs more money. And so what happens is they pass that over into the consumer in order to continue to stay profitable, right? And so the price of a movie ticket in 1980 is going to be completely different than the price of a movie ticket in 2023, right? So let's say the price of a movie ticket is $10. And let's say that over the next 5 years, it grows to be $15. But then somehow, some way, they're able to drive down the costs of what it takes in order for them to operate that movie theater. Do you think that they're going to then pass those savings over into the consumer? Or do you think that that price is built into the head of the consumer, which also means that inflation will truly never go down in the first place? Why would they lower the price when they're getting more profitability? The thing that people look to do is they look to save money in other ways, which is one of the reasons why you see more layoffs. They say, listen, we got ChatGPT, we got technology, we can do more with less, but we certainly not going to lower the prices because the price of the brick is already built into the mind of the consumer. People never go in and say, man, why is this so much lower? They don't. They don't say that. They say, ooh, prices is high now. It cost me $100 just to go to the movie with me and my 2 kids, right? The price of inflation is built into the minds of the people, which means that you'll never, ever see that savings being passed over into the consumer. When the last time you seen tuition go down? When the last time you seen tuition go down? You never see tuition go down. You will never see tuition go down. You won't see rents go down. You won't see tuition go down. You won't see mortgages go down. You may see interest rates go down, but you won't see the price of the house itself that you're purchasing go down. Because it's much easier to pass on the cost and then keep the savings even when you can lower the cost because that is not passed on to the price of the consumer. I've never actually raised the rents on any of the tenants for any of the places that I've lived in. Ever. You know why? Because I'm a good steward. I'm a good guy. I believe in deflation. I believe in sharing the cost and passing that over into the consumer because I build relationships with people. I don't just do business with them, right? And so when you start to understand, again, remembering that it always comes back to the money, when you start to understand how things work, then you start to look at it from a business perspective, even in your relationship. How many times have it cost you less the longer that you've been in a relationship with somebody. It never does. It stays the same or it goes up, which is why I tell guys that you don't start off with the speed of Olympic sprinters because you can't maintain it. Inflation is in your relationship, right? First, you got a coffee date if you smart. Some of y'all dumb motherfuckers want to take her to Ruth Chris on the first time, and you setting the expectation right out the gate, leading and giving her everything that she wants, and then she's going to later come back and say, you used to take me out, or you used to give me flowers every day. You can never go, you can't pass that savings on as you get married. Combining households is supposed to be it's supposed to be a savings. You guys are supposed to be basically combining forces like Voltron in order to conquer the world. But relationships have now become basically a very, very close mimic of what we experience in society as far as inflation and recession and the Fed continuing to raise rates. They raising rates in your relationship also because now she wants to scale up. You know what? Now we can go out. When you going to take me to Ruth Chris? Now society is said that you got to give 3 months salary, 6 months salary in order to get her a ring. Right? Now y'all got to buy a house together. When we going to go on vacation? Now we got to have kids. The cost of having kids is continuing to skyrocket. Now we got to fund those kids' education and put them in private school and possibly pay for their tuition. And you still want kids? You still trying to compare yourself to a recessionary period in which guys was having kids or people was having kids in the early 1900s, the 1930s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and 70s, when you don't even understand that the true cost of having a kids mean that you need to pare back so you can pass that savings along and reduce the burden that a man has to very, very much experience in order to have kids. Having kids is not a privilege anymore. Having kids is a burden for a lot of y'all, right? What kind of job? You can't just get out of high school and go get a job no more. Inflation hits every aspect of what it is that you're doing because society is dictating, similar to what Miss James is saying. Ruth Chris has been bought out by Olive Garden. People don't even want to go to Olive Garden no more, and they're using the same fucking ingredients. The same ingredients. The cost is not being passed over into the consumer. The cost is just continuing to go up, and the price of the brick is going up. So now, instead of you trying to figure out how to lower the cost, then you have to continue to beat the rate of inflation. And that is an everlasting task for y'all. And a lot of y'all are unable to really, really capture what it takes in order to be successful in relationships and business. And that's why I tell y'all that you can't separate one from the other because it's all the same thing. How you operate in your relationship is going to be a reflection of how it is that you operate in your business and how you operate in corporate America and whether or not you network effectively. And so you got to have the same mindset all the way across the board.
It's difficult for consumers to do their shopping. If you put something in your shopping basket and you come back the next morning and it's a different price, you might feel not good about that and not like the firm that's doing that to you. And because of these reasons, the firms often leave their prices stable for a period of time. Inflation also has a funny component that's expectations driven, meaning if we expect prices to go up in the future, it's probably going to happen.
If we think, for example, that inflation is going to stay higher for longer, I will be inclined to price that in because I only get to reset my prices once or twice a year. So I'm building in an expectation that inflation may stay higher for longer. Actually doing that may mean inflation stays higher for longer.
But if I expect for prices to be stable, if I'm convinced the Federal Reserve is going to do their job and get rid of inflation and stabilize prices, well, I should stabilize my prices as well. So
you will never, ever be able to price in savings or deflation. The only thing that you can do is price in inflation. It's always going to cost you more. It's going to cost your kids more. It's going to cost your great-grandkids more. And so a lot of us think that we can save our way to wealth, and we can't. You can't save your way to wealth. Inflation it's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle. And every single thing that you do is going to cost you more. The price of the brick is going to cost you more. The price of pussy is going to cost you more. The price of flying is going to cost you more. And even a lot of y'all are spending money and saying that y'all passport bros. Y'all spending money just to go and spend money on hoes overseas because you can't find no women and that you identify as feminine anymore over here in the United States of America. You get into the bag to go and pay for pussy in a completely different country. That's called inflation. That's literally the very definition of what inflation is. Anyways, let me read these super chats and then we're going to get into the meat and potatoes of the show. Shout out to Ian. It says, Fire Friday. I appreciate you for the fireball. The Move TV says, this wolf is ready to see you tomorrow. Shout out to all of the bag chasers that's going to be in Dallas. I can't wait to kick it with y'all. E.T. the Man Williams says, everyone want to be a beast till it's time to do what beasts do. Business life is very, very savvy. Shout out to E.T. the Man Williams. I appreciate you, and shout out to the logo. Raphael says, strong words, counted 6 so far. Qbert is in the building with the 20 ball. Shout out to Qbert. Says, peace and blessings to you and the family. Just watched the latest Patreon. Those numbers had my eyes popping out of my head like a character. You deserve it all. If y'all don't know what Qbert is talking about, then I know that you're not a bag chaser and you haven't watched any of the latest webinars or masterminds or videos in which I broke down exactly what it is that I show receipts. I show receipts. That's all I can tell you. Shout out to the bag chasers. Hey, Qbert. We bag catchers over here. Bag chasers just sound like it ring a little different, but we got you. We got you. Mr. Hightower Jr. says, blessings, Anton, and the chasers across the nation. Just joined the bag chasers. I learned so much from the Millionaire Morning Show. Can't wait to apply the Patreon info. Shout out to my people. Sonata Sperling says, waiting on my term to get the consultation because nobody outworks me and I need to get this game. I'm ready to put in the work and I got the experience and timing better than the tea and talent. Keep cooking, brother. Thank you, my friend, and thank you for the 20 ball. I appreciate everybody that donates to the platform. You don't have to, but you do so, and so I got to acknowledge you. Ian says, what about REITs? I discussed this. I plan on going into REITs specifically inside of the Patreon and why I don't necessarily like REITs at all, but I'm going to go into that in the Patreon. So I'm going to make that a Patreon exclusive. I can't get that level of game out to the general public. Electrician 480 with the 20 ball says, good morning, Anton. You took the words out of my mouth about land. I inherited 13 acres in Monroe County. I know where Monroe County is. And I've been sitting on it since 2009. The land is now worth $350,000. Once interest rates come down, I will be building. The land that you sit on is you're not necessarily getting a return on investment or making money from it. It can appreciate, but you're not necessarily getting a payment from it initially. So a lot of people don't see land as a good investment because they want that money in their pockets now. So shout out to you. That's a great observation. Shout out to my people overseas. Says, what's going on, AD? Appreciate your content from New Zealand. Shout out to my New Zealanders. Speeds the Beast says, you preaching, brother, as usual. Keep it going. Happy Friday. Shout out to Speeds the Beast, and shout out to everybody that support the platform and continuing to hold me down. Are y'all ready to get into the meat and potatoes? And I hope y'all ready to cam up very, very shortly. But one thing I know for sure and two things is for certain is snitches get stitches. Snitches get stitches. Snitches get stitches. Snitches get stitches. Now, Tasha K is doing what Tasha K do. Somehow, some way, Tasha K find a way. Somehow, Tasha K find a way. All right? Tasha K recently had an interview, and she's been in contact with this guy for an extended period of time, apparently. Right? And I'm reading super chats shortly. But Tasha K recently released part 1 of an interview with Jim Townsend, who is or happens to be the ex of Majorie Harvey. And this dude was being a chatty patty. He was being a chatty patty. I hope y'all ready to give me y'all thoughts and ready to cam up shortly. Again, I'm going to be reading super chats throughout the show. I'm gonna skip over into what you guys really wanted me to watch. And I think it's at the 44-minute mark. So let me go ahead.
Let's put the wine down for a second, because at times like...
Not about...
Is that the 44-minute mark? Let me see if I can get this at the 44-minute mark.
look out the window and see the phone happen with
All right,
that.
here we go.
I was saying, so I be trying to tell people, me and Majorie was tight as friends the whole time I went to prison. I could call her if I needed anything, she'd do it. She would bring those kids to see me up until, even with Donnell, Laura's dad, was cool. We cool.
Question before we get into this part, because this is going to be a very interesting conversation that we about to have right now. Question: when is it ever cool, in y'all opinion, to talk about your ex? When is it ever cool to talk about a person that no longer has any contact with you? He says specifically, and I seen it in a clip, that the day that she got married, she completely cut off contact with this man. This is the context before we get into the show. The day that she got married, or was it 3 days before she got married, he said he talked to her 3 days before she got married, after she got married to Steve Harvey. He has never talked to her again. She cut off complete contact with him, right? Now, I got to give Steve credit for that. I'm not a fan of Steve's relationship advice. But Steve's ability to be able to control his now wife apparently is exceptional, because in no way, shape, or form has this man ever had contact with this woman since she got married. Never kept his kids from him, allowed for his kids to go and visit him and all of that other type of stuff. So he ain't got no complaints with regard to that. So when you take this into consideration, right, because this ain't even about Steve right now. This is about him and her. Really more about the ex, right? Who's supposed to be an OG kingpin and all of that, right? What makes you feel comfortable enough to be able to talk about a woman that you used to be with over 2 decades ago and continuing to have conversations and even getting to the point to where you're talking about Tasha K about her and writing a book? So keep that in mind as we watch this, all right? Let's continue.
Until 3 days before she got married.
And then she just...
The day after, 2 days after, I called her like I told her I was going to call her and, congratulated, good, well job, blah, blah. I never heard her voice again to this day. Not on the phone, social media and so on.
So he said, listen, I ain't heard one thing from that chick on the phone or whatever. The only thing that I can hear from her is about on social media. From then till this day, I have never, ever heard another peep from that chick, and she ain't never reached out to me. That's what he said out of his own mouth. Let's continue.
Oh, wow. What about your children?
What about it?
Did you hear their voices? Were you...
Yeah, my kids, my kids were still cool.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
But I tell people, you draw your own conclusion. I talked for 20 years, I talked to her, and I talked to her second husband, no problem. But the day after she married Steve Harvey, her phone cut off.
So you hearing it out of his mouth, right? You hearing it out of his mouth. Listen, from the day that this chick got married all the way up until the day her phone got cut off, and she ain't never reached out to me, she ain't never kicked it with me, but she ain't never kept my kids from me. This is what he's saying. This is your king, right? These are y'all OGs. These are the dudes that's moving around today being chatty patties on social media. All right, let's continue.
Now, let me ask you something. There's rumors of her being, taking over your empire or running it or managing the money while you were in prison. Is that true?
Well, listen. I don't know what's true because everything was speculation. No, as far as me going to prison, here's my connect, and you take over and all like that. No, but she already had the numbers to my connect. Now, I still talk to one of them. Yeah, they did something, right? But that was just speculation. Second part,
Listen to this dude. First, you could tell that he didn't want to say certain things because he didn't want to be liable, right? But he forgot to throw the allegedly. He was like, as is rumors. And then he said, hey, but hold on. But after I went down, she already had the numbers to my connect. And they did do some stuff. This is what he said out of his own mouth. She had the numbers to the connect, and yeah, they were still doing stuff. They were still running that bag up. They were still running the brick up. They were still running the bag up and they were still running the brick up. This is what this chatty patty is telling Tasha K on YouTube. This is what this dude is saying on YouTube, bro. This is wild. This is absolutely wild. Is this y'all king? Is this y'all king?
Hearsay. So I don't want to say something. Everything I say, it's got to be true.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, she was. Her and Danielle, yeah, she had took my connect and she was using it.
Is this y'all king? Is this y'all king? I'm reading super chat shortly. Snitching. Throwing his ex-chick under the bus. He out of his own mouth is literally saying that Majorie took the connect after he got locked up and she was still running the brick up.
Wayne Jefferson out of Houston.
We and he naming names. Hold on, I gotta rewind it a little bit.
Right, but that was just speculation. Second part, hearsay. So I don't want to say something. Everything I say, it's got to be true.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So yeah, she was. Her and Danielle, yeah, she had took my connect and she was.
Nigga naming names. He naming names on Tasha K. Naming names.
Using it. Wayne Jefferson out of Houston. Yeah, she was getting drugs, keys, and giving it to her husband, Danielle. And no, they were still moving drugs.
Is this y'all OG? Is this y'all OG? Now, it's so much to mine out here. Listen. Steve Harvey could not have picked a worse time to do an interview with Shannon Sharp at a time when Jim Townsend is sitting with Tasha K having a conversation about Majorie having to connect and moving keys with people that he's naming names about now. This dude is snitching, Rita. He's snitching. You brought me some something in order to watch this movie that I'm watching right now, a tropical smoothie to watch this movie. This dude is over here naming names and being a chatty patty. Who OG is this, y'all? I don't care. You don't say no junk like that. I don't care who it is. This dude is being a chatty patty.
Now,
I'm in prison, so I'm just saying.
Down.
Huh?
While all this is going down, you're in prison.
Yeah.
Okay.
See, you gotta understand, Majorie didn't just start wearing designer clothes and $5,000 Coach purses and all like that. Majorie was dressing like.
Hey, did the Coach purse cost $5,000?
I never heard of the Coach.
he might be out of the loop for a while.
What y'all called it?
Like me.
Like the.
Like me. This is Fashion Nova.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Majorie didn't just get married to Steve Harvey and understand she was living lives.
Yes.
Yeah, we was nigga rich. I hate to see that, but no, she was living. She was living like.
She had the house and the cars and.
Yeah, she didn't just $5,000 Coach purses and all like that. Wardrobe.
Now, what did your wife say about all
This nigga so out of touch. He ain't had money in so long. He still got the tags on his suit, and he talking about a $5,000 Coach purse. When did Coach ever have a $5,000 purse? Ain't nothing wrong with Coach. I'm just saying, this nigga's out of the loop. Now Louis Vuitton got him. Christian Dior got him. Gucci got him. I don't know about that Coach.
Did you eventually?
Well, that's why we got divorced.
Okay, because of Majorie?
Yeah, that's why we got a divorce. And that was a woman I should have stayed with. She died with a broken heart. I hate that.
She ain't had no broken heart. She took your connect and she gave it to her new husband and she was running that breakup. Apparently, according to you, sir. Chatty Patty. Chatty Patty. Oh my gosh. These niggas is on the internet. Hey, get your OGs off the internet, y'all. I'm about to drop the link in the chat for y'all to be able to cam up. if you have any thoughts about anything that I say, or you just want to join in, or hey, got a cam up, and say whatever, don't have no do-rag on your head.
She loved me, real deal love.
Did her and Majorie have any run-ins?
Yeah, they did.
Did they fight?
No, they didn't. They did not. They just, on the phone, and like Lisa told her, that's my husband, blah, 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 he married. See, I had lied to Majorie.
Yeah.
Like I told you, I didn't tell her I was married, but it came to the light. And because it broke her heart, because she went to my brother and told my brother, he married his wife. Lisa called him, blah, blah, and all that. And I don't know how Lisa got her number. But I'm trying to think too. So Terry called me, my brother Terry. He said, man, you didn't tell Marjorie you was married? No, I didn't. That type of thing. So, I don't know.
Pass around. This is crazy, bro. Grown men telling their ex-chick's business and putting their ex-chick business out in the street. I won't even put the people business out in the street that ain't an ex-chick that I don't even like anymore, just because that's more about me than it is about them. That's just something you don't do. You don't put people who you knew in real life or who you know in real life, you don't put their business out in the street. Where they do that at? Where they do that at, man? This is crazy, bro. This is absolutely insane.
Now, let me ask you this. Now, there's another rumor online.
Go ahead and spill all of the beans. Listen, if you need somebody to snitch and tell all of the business, go and find you a former OG. He gonna give all of the business. He gonna be the chatty patty. You ain't even gotta find a woman no more. You just find the OG.
You taking the rap for Majorie. Like, did you do time for her? Did you save her from getting an indictment as well?
Yeah, I told you that's the paperwork I was telling you. I left rushing out here trying to get here and didn't have to rush. I don't know why I left her laying on the bed. I had already pulled her to show you.
No, we'll get it tomorrow. Yeah, we'll get it tomorrow.
So my thing.
Nigga giving Tasha K paperwork. He giving Tasha K the paperwork, the snitch work. Oh, Jesus.
My thing is, yeah, I did that. But I tell everybody, I didn't get the life sentence because of my co-defendant that testified. Of course, by him testifying on me, rolling over on me on the day before trial, 2 days before trial. Okay, so that gave them the firepower to, embolden them to threaten me with a life sentence without the possibility of parole. See, because they could have given it to me because I had 3 strikes, the 3 strikes law, which the 3 strikes law, a lot of people don't, a lot of blacks don't understand that. I'm talking about my 2 drug priors were minute. One was a 0.5 gram of blow. I got a felon for that because I got busted with that, and the other was get high. And then the second one was a 0.5 ounce. You know what I'm saying? A powder, actually.
So they use those 2 minor offenses.
To enough cocaine you can put in your hand to use to enhance me to like with some ghost dope. It was a railroad, and the railroad was really because of Congressman Harold Ford. That's what I thought. When
that nigga need to go back to jail the way that he's singing. He need to go back to jail the way that he's singing. This is why they got the 3-strike rule, because you couldn't do right the first 2 times. And now you out here trying to fuck up somebody else's bag. Nigga, go ahead and do your time that you was originally supposed to do. Your OG's out here looking bad. Sherelle, your OG out here looking bad, Sherelle. Kojak, Persevere Data TV. Y'all OG is out. H2. Jamal, your OGs is out here going outside.
Things I told you about. I didn't get the life sentence because they came to me, offered me 20 years. And so when he found these tapes of banking business, Congressman Ford, between me and Congressman Harold Ford Sr., when they found these tapes in my house, once they raided my house, the tapes was hidden. And we were talking about banking business, me and my brother Terry and Harold Ford. I had given $30,000 to actually money laundering this money to get this Amoco station that we had just bought this lot. we were gonna have this Amoco station built, with the
like gas
food
station.
store, gas station, yeah. But of course, we couldn't walk in with $250,000 cash.
Right.
So, but he was hooked up in the banking business because two white boys, C.H. Butcher and Jake Butcher, had whole Tennessee wrapped up.
This nigga telling all the business. This nigga is telling all the business. He talking about politics. He talking about the connect. He naming names. He talking about who owned what and the whole 9 yards. Where they do that at? Where they do that at? This man is just in here going ham. But, and as usual, you always got somebody as some. I can tell where the snitches is. They tell on themselves. The snitches is in the chat too, and they support this bad business. They support this bad behavior. They support, just because this man is already did his time, they think that it's cool for you to be able to come up here and say any fucking thing that makes sense. And that's just supposed to. The snitches is in the chat. Watch them. Watch them. Watch them. These is y'all OGs. Let me see what y'all talking about out here in these streets. Oh, man, you got to be safe, big dog.
Yo, what's going on, bro?
Man, you out here riding and man, I'm scared for you, bro.
Oh, no, it's all good, man. I'm inside the Tesla. I'm straight. It can drive.
I see. And look, you look like you got a Model Y out there.
Yeah, that's exactly which one I got.
That's a Model. I know my cars, man. That's all I look at on the internet is the cars.
Hey, that's what's up.
What's going on, big dog?
Man, about to go charge up, man. I'm running
You don't
low
charge
out
at
here,
home?
man. Huh?
You don't charge at home?
Yeah, but it's a slow charge. You get like 5 miles per hour. I didn't get the other thing installed.
That's all you need. You need a trickle charger. You plug it up at night, and you get charged up at night. That's what my wife do.
Yeah, I know. I drive too much, man, during the day. I get up at like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning, and I'm out pretty much all freaking day, man.
That's what's up. So what's the word? What's your thoughts?
So, I mean, old boy's a snitch, man. I have never in my life, that's what I was saying down in the chat. I have never in my life seen an OG do this on like this is crazy. On camera?
I have. I see him all the time. I see him. Now that we got the internet.
Right.
Now that we got the internet, I see it happen every day. See? That's why you shouldn't drive. That's why you shouldn't be driving, KD. Because now you frozen. Now you frozen up. And yes, he is snitching. Yes, he is snitching. Let me pin this to the top of the chat so I don't have to keep dropping it in the chat. Give me a second. Give me a second. Give me a second. See if I can pin this to the top of the chat. Give me a moment, ladies and gentlemen. KD, I'm going to give you a chance to be able to get your life back together. So I'm going to drop you down. Let me pin this to the top of the chat for y'all to be able to cam up and kick it with your boy and have a conversation. Give me a second. I'm tired of dropping a link. Place pin. All right, so it's pinned to the top of the chat now. Let's see what we got out here in these streets. Big dog, I can't see you on camera. I can't see you. Pull the camera back a little bit.
Oh, there I go. Over there? I'm in the game.
You in the who?
You see me?
Yeah, I can see you. What's happening? Hold on. Call back, man. Call back. Call back, bro. Y'all got to get y'all life together, man. All right. All right, I can see
back.
you.
I'm back.
I can see you now.
I'm back.
What's up, man? What's going on, bro?
What's up with you, Anton? How you feeling this morning, man?
I'm chilling, man. I'm trying to figure it out. What's up with you?
Man, I'm at work, man, getting my increments, man.
You at work? What do you do? Don't tell me where you work. Just tell me what you do.
I'm a concierge.
You're a concierge?
Yeah.
So what is that? What does that entail? What all do you do?
I'm just a host. You feel me? I just help people out.
Okay. What's up with the hair? What you got going on up there, big dog?
You feel me? I'm free form dreads. You feel me? Keep it tapered up on the side. I'm about to cut my hair this weekend. You feel me?
You gonna cut it all off? You gonna cut it all off?
I'm just gonna slice the side. You know,
How old are you?
I'm 26.
You don't want to get it all cut off? You get you a nice fade, get you a nice taper?
Hell no, I ain't cutting it off. This shit about to grow. You feel me?
You
Bob
sure?
Marley. Yeah, I'm sure.
What do you want to do for a living, my friend?
I make beats. I'm a producer. Clothing brand about to start. I can't tell you the name because not everything ain't in the process. You feel me? I ain't got my LLC yet, but I'm about to get that popping like next week. Yeah, man.
So what's your thoughts? I want to get your thoughts before I give you my thoughts.
What you mean? My thoughts on what? The old nigga?
Whatever you want to talk about.
Shit, man. Man, I want to hear your thoughts. What you got to say, man?
I think you should cut your hair, big dog.
Why you think I should cut my hair, Anton? My wife love it. I love it.
So you do things because your wife say it, or do you do things because it's what's best for you?
I do things because it's best for me.
Where you from? Where you at? Where you at in the United States?
I'm in California, Los Angeles.
I think you should cut your hair, bro.
Why do you think I should cut my hair?
Because you a grown man.
What that mean?
That mean you gotta be presentable. You gotta be on top of things. You never get a second chance to make a first impression.
Hey, if people can't accept me for who I am, I don't give a fuck about them. Straight up, because I'm going to do me, regardless.
That's it? I don't believe that. I don't believe that.
I'm telling you.
You know why I don't believe that?
Why you don't believe it?
Because you got a job.
What that mean?
That means you do what your boss tell you to do.
I don't have a boss. I'm a contract worker.
You still got a boss?
I mean, still, but I'm not. Or say if my boss came and be like, Marvin, you got to cut your hair off today, man, or we ain't going. You feel me? You can't. Fuck it.
You just crashing out. That's the end of it.
I'm not crashing. That ain't crashing out.
It is because you fumble in the bag. That's crashing out. Is fumble in the bag, big dog.
Man, I ain't cutting his hair.
Is it that meaningful to you?
I mean, it's not that serious, but it's like, why?
What if cutting your hair is the difference between making an extra $150,000 a year and what you're making right now? Would you cut it then? What if cutting your hair was the difference between making an additional $150,000 a year and what you're making right now? Would you cut it then?
I'm gonna do it.
Then you would cut it?
I'll cut it.
Then that means that you for sale. Because remember, you said at first you didn't give a fuck. You ain't cutting your hair for nothing. Now you're telling me that you would do it if the bag came along with it.
Okay, yeah. If that bag came along with it, I could do it.
But what if the bag comes with it? You just can't see the bag yet because it comes along with a lot of other ways in which you think, which is a reflection of how it is that you present yourself to the general public.
Who I have to be presentable to?
Huh?
Who do I have to be presentable to? Who do I have to? I feel like I'm gonna be faking for somebody, like trying to get somebody to accept me. You know what I'm saying? If I cut my shit off for them.
I think that you doing it, that's for your own best interest. We all make sacrifices in order to do the things. We all make sacrifices to do the thing that's in our best interest. Listen. You were sold a lie. Want me to be honest with you? And I'm only telling you this because I really, really want the best for you, big dog. You were sold a lie. And the lie that you were sold was that you wasn't keeping it real or you was faking because you doing something that's in your own best interest. Keeping it real and 100 is doing the thing that's going to make sure that you get the biggest bag possible and that people want to do the most business with you because you got a wife to take care of. You got any kids?
Yeah, I got a 7-month-year-old.
So you got a 7-month-old, and that 7-month-old, the difference between whether or not they go to college or not, or whether or not you make enough money for them to go to college or not is going to be how it is that you present yourself to the general public. Would you do it then?
Repeat that one more time, sir.
What if the difference between whether or not you can send your kid to college and not is how you present yourself? Would you do it then?
Repeat it one more time. Slow it down.
The amount of money that you make, which then enables you to be able to send your kid to college, would you make the sacrifice?
Yeah, I'm gonna make the sacrifice.
But you selling out. Why would
To
you
who?
sell? You selling out in order to ensure that your kid go to college.
Shit, hey, I'm putting my baby first.
Which means that we all make sacrifices in order to do the thing that's in the best interest of the people that's around us, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how is it not keeping it real just because you're doing something that's going to get you a bigger bag? You're not doing nothing illegal.
I'm trying to see. Look, man. Hey,
Listen, I'm going to tell you the truth. Man. Listen, you got to make some sacrifices. You got to do the thing that's in your best interest. I know we like to act like we living in a world where we don't give a fuck and we don't care about what people think. We do. We care. We care about what people say to us. We care about what people think about us, and it's meaningful.
okay,
And we
but look,
use that as a defense mechanism. We use that in order to prevent ourselves from having to really face who we are. The reality is that you are going to have to make some sacrifices if you want to get to the next level.
but I'm saying, like, I hear where you coming from and all that, but it's like, why the fuck do I gotta change up? Like, you feel me?
You don't have to do nothing,
And
but you don't have to do anything. But you're gonna get out of it. You get out of this life what you present yourself to be.
Mm-hmm.
You get out of this life. How many executives have you ever seen that had hair like that?
Shit, Jay-Z.
Jay-Z is self-made.
That's how I plan on becoming self-made.
Okay, well then I guess you gonna have to play it your way then.
Hey, that's what it is then.
You're making a mistake. I'm just telling you. We need to stop you because you're looking up to rappers, man.
Am I making a
You're
mistake?
looking up to a rapper to make a life decision.
Huh?
You looking up to a rapper to make a life decision. That's not a smart move.
No, I'm not looking up to him, but I'm saying, like, man, this shit crazy, bro, because you making me think. And I'm like,
I know that's my whole job is to make you think. Listen. I'm not gonna change your mind.
mm-hmm.
I'm never going to. I know going into this conversation, I've talked to enough young people to understand that I'm not going to change your mind. My goal right now is to force you to be uncomfortable and to force you to think about it. Just to think about it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to tell you what to do. I would never, you know what I'm saying? I'm not your father. I ain't never going to try to son you. I ain't got nothing negative to say about you. I think that the fact that, you alive, you married, you got a kid, I think that you got a great future ahead of you, big dog. The only thing that I'm asking you to do as an older guy that's been there, I done seen it. I've been your age. I've suffered as a result of it, right? I made a lot of decisions that could have made me a lot more successful today. And one day you gonna wind up being 41. You're gonna wind up being 50. And you're going to have a kid that grow up. You know what I'm saying? And your kid is going to be dependent on you. I got a 15-year-old now, bro. I'm saying I had my daughter when I was 26 years old. And so I'm not trying to change you. I'm not trying to tell you what to do. All I'm asking you to do is think about it because I want your kid and I want your wife and I want you to have a phenomenal future. I think that people just take you more serious when you present yourself a certain type of way. It ain't you changing up. It ain't you being any less than what you are. You still you, big dog. You know what I'm saying? So all I'm saying is just think about it. Think about the other opportunities that can come along with it, because it's other bags to get even besides what you do. I'm not telling you to not do your hustle. I'm not telling you to not do your job, but I'm saying that, you know what I'm saying? If it's other bags to get, then don't cut yourself short just by having people stereotype you based off of how you look. That's all I'm saying.
Real nigga, Anton, for
You know what
sure.
I'm saying?
Yeah,
All right, big dog. I appreciate you for calling in, bro.
yes, sir.
All right. All right, let me get y'all up here. I want to bring y'all up, see what y'all thoughts are. Let me get you. What up, though? You. What up, though?
How's it going,
Up
Anton?
here too. What up, friends? What's the word?
I'm out here at the McNamara terminal heading to Dallas.
Oh, snaps! You out here about to fly out? You over there in DTW?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. I'm looking forward to kicking it with seeing what the
Oh,
word is out
definitely.
here in the streets.
Yeah.
Well, I'm never on the streets, man. I try to stay away from everything street related. I'm just right now. I'm actually unemployed.
No, you ain't.
You're making money somehow.
I don't believe you unemployed. What you mean you unemployed? How did that happen?
Well, I worked for 8.5 years, and I was doing YouTube videos for a while, and some one of my managers took my video personal because I was in like the red pill space talking about overweight feminists, and she just happened to be an overweight feminist, and they got me out of there.
When did this happen?
December 2nd.
You decided that you ain't want to go back to work again?
I'm taking a break because my thing is I I'm 37, no kids, cash my house out, own vehicles, single by choice, so I have enough money kind of sitting around while I figure out my next plan.
Uh
So
huh.
that's pretty much what I'm working on, trying to figure out. My goal is to try to take social media serious and put effort into it. That's what
Hold
I'm
on.
just
Hey,
trying to gather.
Quentin, mute up, cause for a second, while you're not talking. Go ahead. You said your goal is to do what?
Yeah. To see if I can really make social media work for me and see if I can turn it into some form of income for myself.
I got you.
Yeah.
What? But let me ask you a question. Why not? Why not work at the same time? Because you can do
Mm,
both, right? I works. I
oh yeah, I
work.
definitely can.
I do social media,
Well,
right? But I also get the bag on the other side, right?
yeah. It's just it ticked me off so bad that a lot of these jobs have your fate in their hands, and the fact of how she's just able to get rid of me like it was nothing. I just was like, I'm gonna take a break from working from these jobs for a minute and just try to figure out my own plan. So,
Do you think that she got
not
rid of
the
you for nothing, though? Do you think that she got rid of you for nothing?
well, they targeted me. I was targeted because even to this day, if I want my job back, because I was my particular job, I was working for a travel team, so I was traveling all across the country doing my job. So
Mm-hmm.
that particular manager got me fired. But back at my home branch here in Michigan, if I want my job back, my branch manager will actually hire me back. I just decided to take a break.
I don't know. I don't know. I gotta be objective.
I know. I mean, I'm open. I'm listening.
I gotta be objective.
It's
Okay, so
just
let me frame it this way. I know that I know what I do, right? I also know that what I do could also yield potential consequences. So because of that, I know that if somebody if somebody from my job come to me and they say, Anton, we don't like the content that you're putting out, that's on me. It's not that I'm targeted. It's because of the content that I created. It's not because of anything that anybody did to me. They're only reacting to what it is that I'm doing because it's a representation of the company. So I have to take responsibility for what that is. Like, that's my fault. That's not the company's fault. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. Well, I
So
never misrepresented the company at all because
you are.
I never even talked about the company.
But you being a public figure, it doesn't matter. I've never talked about my company either. But if I'm a representation of that company, and I work for them and I'm an at-will employee, then that means that I gotta take what comes with it if I represent the company bad.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, my point of view is a little different. I mean, I don't feel like I represent the company at all based on my social media at all. It's just
Listen,
that
man.
manager found
You
out
know,
that
do
I
you
had a
know the first
YouTube
thing that I
channel,
do?
and
You know what the first thing that I do when I'm looking to hire somebody?
what's that?
I check their
You look up
social
their
media
social media. Yes.
because I'm trying to figure out whether or not they'll be a good representation of what it is that we do over there at the company.
Mm-hmm.
Which means they then represent the company. Every time you meet
I
with a
work
client,
for
every time you talk to a customer, you're a reflection of the company that you represent.
but I worked for a collision car auction, so I wasn't
Don't
a
matter.
public figure at all.
It don't matter. It's their. Okay, so let me ask you a question. If a teacher was an OnlyFans porno hoe, do you think even though she never said that,
I already know. I already know.
should she be teaching kids?
Probably not.
Why not? Why
Because
not?
OnlyFans is a little
She
bit different.
never
Well,
mentioned the school
OnlyFans
that
have
she
a
worked.
reputation.
No, she never mentioned the school that she worked for. She never did any of that. It's not her responsibility that the kids is following her on social media, or the parents, or the school.
Yeah, but I don't know. OnlyFans has a full stigma around it, so I think it's a little different.
And
But
so
I
does
mean,
calling a woman a fat red pill chick.
yeah, I mean, like I said, she took it personal. So I mean, what could I say? I mean, what could I say? I don't know what else to say. All their reason was I was yelling discriminatory expletives in the work uniform. Is what they said why they got rid of me.
You was in a work uniform too,
Well, all you saw was lime green. You couldn't see the name of the company. You saw
but you was
lime
in a
green on my shirt.
you was in a work uniform, though, big dog.
Well, I used to get off work and I go to the hotel room and I was making videos just like this.
Come on, big dog. You had the work uniform on though.
Yeah, but if you can't see the name of the company, then that's just speculation at that point.
Yeah, you might have to try to figure out how to make this social media work for you, big dog. We're gonna have to have this conversation. We're gonna have to have this conversation in person.
Oh yeah, no problem. Like I said, dude, I'm open. It's just that's what I said right now. I'm figuring it out. But like I said, it is what it is. I mean, like I said, I mean I can work anytime I feel like it. It's just right now I just took a break from working for companies while I figure out because I do a lot of side hustling. I install car sound systems and stuff like that. I got items to sell. So it's like I'm not sitting around not making money at all. So
I don't think it has nothing to do with the money. I think you're fine on the money because you don't need the money in order to survive, right?
yeah.
But it's still. I think that this success comes with a mindset shift, right? And that you got to completely own the space that you're in because I then think that you make better decisions long term. That's going to affect you in a positive way, depending on the decisions that you make. When I took this position, right, I understood that if anything was to ever happen, or the way that I speak, or they even understood, and they know who I am, and they said, "Listen, you know what I'm saying? We still rocking with you, but if we ever got to cut ties with you because it don't make sense for our shareholders, then we got to." And I understood that. You know what I'm saying? I would never blame them, or I would never hold them responsible. It don't even matter if I don't say nothing inflammatory. If they don't like how I'm representing myself online, that's 100% on me. You know what I'm saying? That is not their problem. That's not their responsibility. Um, that's all on me. That's 100% on me.
Yeah. Yeah. Same here. Yeah. No, so I can see it. I mean, like I said, I can see it. It's just
Why you ain't
I,
switched to a
as far
t-shirt
as
though, big dog? Why you go to the work uniform?
I'm,
Why you go to the work uniform?
Because I mean, most time I got off work, I just got behind the camera and I just made videos. I mean, I did it so much. I got like half of my videos. I'm sitting there in lime green shirts. To be honest,
Oh no, big dog. At least tell me you was making money from the videos, man.
no, I was literally trying to build YouTube. I don't even got that many subscribers yet. That's the whole point of. Let me see
Yeah,
what I
I
can
was
make
a
happen
little.
with it.
I took a different approach when I got on social media. I didn't say anything that I thought even remotely was inflammatory. As a matter of fact, I waited until I retired from corporate America. I wound up going back to corporate America. They recruited me, but they knew who I was. I waited till I got out of corporate America before I really started deep diving into really saying what I really thought. I waited, like, cause I just was unwilling to fumble. They was paying me too much money for me not to
Yeah.
really take that risk. I was unwilling to forego that bag. I didn't even want to risk it.
Yeah, I wasn't making that much money from the company. I just was, I pretty much lived there though. We was doing 84, 88 hours a week. So I was living there. So I was able to, work my tail off and save as much money as I can. That's the primary goal. Cause I honestly felt like it was only a matter of time before they let me go. It's almost like I predicted it. So
No, that was self inflicted, big dog. You killed yourself on that
probably
one.
so. Yeah, but I mean, it got to a point where I just started like the management was so much of a nuisance. I kind of stopped caring. So I'm pretty sure it
Mm.
showed in my actions.
So why not just get another? Why not just get another job? Like why wait or put them in a position to where they can you? I'm gonna mute you really quickly, KB. Real quick.
Um, well, I mean, it didn't. I mean, to me, like I said, my main goal was when they fired me. Like I said, I kind of predicted it or whatever. I already knew I was in a decent financial position to where I can take a break and focus on new avenues and new ventures. I'm just like, I don't know if me working for corporate America is my direct path, and I'm just trying to figure out how to make my money make money for me, and that's a strategy I haven't figured out yet.
I got you. My philosophy is all money in. I just want all. I want all of the bags. I want everything. I want corporate America money. I want YouTube money. I want real estate money. I want web development money. I want stock money. All of it is good money for me. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I don't need one. Like, I'm not gonna sacrifice one for the other. If I have to give it up, then I would. Listen, let me tell you something, bro. I got a completely different mindset. KD, I'm gonna bring you back up in 1 second. One second. 1 second. Give me a second. Hold on. Give me 1 second. Let me say it like this, bro.
Hmm.
If I had the extra capacity, and this is just the way that I see things. If I had the extra capacity, right, I would I would drive Uber right now. I'd fucking DoorDash. Like I just don't have no I don't have no pride. I don't have no, you know what I'm saying, anything that's stopping me. I don't care about any of that type of stuff, right? And so
Hmm.
anything that I can do to add capacity, or it's not absolutely slowing me down, or it's not, you know what I'm saying, doing me in a negative way, I'm doing that shit. Like, for me, it's all money in. It's all money in. And if it makes business sense for me, I'm going to get that shit.
Hmm.
I'm going to get it. I'm going to get every single thing that is available to me, because I believe that I think that I just got a different hustle. I'll just say it like that. I got a different hustle. I got a different mindset. I got a different grind. And I just don't have no pride when it comes to doing the thing that's in the best interest of my family. Whatever it takes to put myself and my family in a better position, I'm doing that shit. I don't care what nobody think. I don't care what nobody say. I ain't tripping off of that. I'm going to get it, bro. And so for
Hmm.
me, I'm gonna get 10 sources of income. I'm going to run that check up, and I'm going to continue to deploy my resources into the assets that then make me more money long term. That's how I rock. If I got to go and shovel rubber dog doo-doo because I got the capacity to do so, I'm doing it. If I can take an additional sales job, I'm doing it. If I got to drive Uber or DoorDash or deliver, I'm doing it. I got zero pride when it comes to getting my bag.
Definitely.
So, yeah, we'll kick it. We'll definitely kick it. I can't wait to kick it with you down in Dallas. It's going to be dope.
Oh, yeah, no problem. Yeah,
All right, my
so,
friend. I'm going to
because
kick it
like I
with you in a
said,
little
I'm just
bit.
trying to figure it out. All right, thank you, sir.
All right, let me add y'all back. Let's go right there, and let's go with Josh. What up, Josh? Let me unmute you real quick, KD. Oh, you muted yourself. What up, Josh?
There we
Can you
go.
hear me, Josh? Josh, can you hear me?
You got the AirPods on here.
Yeah, I don't know if he can hear me. Josh. Can you hear me, Josh?
Hello? I can't hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yeah,
You can hear
we
me?
can hear you, bro.
Yes. All right. Take the. Oh, you can hear me now? You muffled.
I took it out.
All right, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right, that's what's up. So what's happening, Josh? Josh, are you listening to YouTube?
That's what it said.
Turn the YouTube off, Josh. Jesus Christ. So what's up, KD? What's the word?
What's going on, man? I don't know about that thing. I got that Metro PCS internet, man. my phone overheated, man.
What's your thoughts, bro?
You talking about on
Anything? Any of your thoughts? Any of your thoughts?
Oh, well, yeah. I was talking about the drug pen, the King OG Kingpin guy, man. I was
Yeah.
telling you that I've never seen anybody sit there and snitch on YouTube, like on camera, like that.
I have. I see it
Knowing
every
that
day.
on YouTube though, like
I see
a
it every day.
kingpin,
Well, not kingpins, but I see people in general snitch every day.
Well, maybe I've seen like guys like clout chasing, maybe to get like some following or to get inside some girls' pants or something like that. But just doing it for like absolutely no reason at all.
I do. Well, he not doing it for no reason. He doing it for clout. He doing it for visibility. He trying to sell a book. The whole 9 yards.
Oh, you did say that.
He said he
Yeah,
had
you
a
did
book
say that.
coming. He said he had a book coming. People do wild stuff, bro. They do wild stuff
Anything.
every single day, man.
Yeah, man. I don't know. It's just something that I didn't see growing up, man. I've never seen like if anything, dog, you shut up, man. Take it and you shut up. Ain't no
No,
way in the world.
I just think that it's a level of integrity that you gotta have, man, and most people just don't have it, bro. Like, listen, I believe in holding people accountable and all of that other type of stuff. He ain't spoke to that nigga in over 20, 30 years.
He was pissed off. That's what you think. You think he was pissed off about
Yeah, she ain't
that?
spoke to this dude in over 20, 30 years. What you still mentioning her for? You know what I'm saying? I don't know, bro. I got a completely different mindset, man.
True that, man. I feel you, dog. I feel you.
So, well, let me get out of here because I got to head to the airport myself. Rita, what time do we got aboard? Yeah, I got to make it to the airport because I got to go down to the office, get my recording equipment and everything.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and wash my car and jog on back to the house, man. I'm gonna let it sit here at the charger for a few hours.
All right, that's
This
what's
be
up,
my.
big dog. I
All right, be
appreciate you,
easy.
bro.
All right.
All right, so let me read the super chats because I want to acknowledge the people that supported the platform. Levi DePiro said, brother, blessings and success. Let's see who else we got here. John Wilson says, we'll be there, be a meetup later this year in the Northeast, particularly NYC. We always hit NYC. Every single year we hit NYC. So, yes, I will be probably tapping into, if I had to guess, Los Angeles, just right off the top of my head, Los Angeles, Definitely always do Detroit. DC, Atlanta, probably. Always tap back into Miami, New York. So we traverse the entire country. You know what I'm saying? So definitely gonna be hitting NYC again. It was lit in NYC. Slim Tebow says I'm gonna need a large fry and a Coke with this chatty patty. Shout out to Slim Tebow. Spaces says Tasha K could at least try to sound interested. For what? She was getting everything out of him and she didn't even have to try. Brock says, bruh, this man out here dropping names like on the first 48 just got a Coke and a honey bun. No, Freaky Jason. Shout out to Brock. Tristan Smith says the OJs ain't seen this much. Man, these OGs is the worst. I think this quite possibly have been the worst generation of men that I've ever seen in my entire life as far as like the boomers and that generation, like the 60-year-olds, 60 and up type of dudes. They led us down a wrong path. Anton underhand pitching the young dude, and he ain't even hitting and getting it. Shout out to AWOL. Mr. Hightower says, young man, just yield to the wisdom. Don't fight it. I'm telling y'all don't understand that sometimes people need to go through things. Sometimes people need to go through things. And so you can't necessarily always give them the game or give them the wisdom and think that that's the end of the conversation. It's not going to happen like that. It's a journey. It's a journey. And so just because somebody like me or you may give them some game, we're not going to change them overnight. And so my goal is not necessarily to tell him something that's going to make him think differently today or whatever. I want him to completely change how he thinks about things over time. And I want the things that happen to him and affect his life to then come back to that initial conversation that he had and for it to make an impact in his life. So my goal wasn't to change him now. My goal is to change him forever. You know what I'm saying? Greatness to Work says, good job, Anton. I love this young man's generation. That younger 20s generations are the ones who would get this right. They listen and smart. Family man. Shout out to you. My dog, Classy Beat, says, be honest, bro. You know you probably said so. There's this post-wall well at my job in one of your videos. Executive Suite MLE says, Gems drop to the young man with the hair. The answer will be no before you sit down. Appearance is key. Listen to Anton. Shout out to Jeremy H. Jeremy H says, feds use people Instagram pics against them in court. That's a fact. Persevere Data TV says, don't butt fumble the bag by not making simple adjustments. I appreciate you. Shout out to KD's Empire. Shout out to everybody that's rocking out. I love y'all. I absolutely love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I got to go down to my studio. I got to go and catch a flight. So, as usual, looking forward to linking up with all of the bag chasers. Make sure you tap into the Patreon. Link is in the description as well as pinned to the top of the chat. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm going to see y'all on Fight Club tonight. Q, I will see you in a few hours. I need y'all to do me one more favor before we get up out of here, though. Make sure you share this with your family and friends. We don't want to be successful by ourselves. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I cannot wait to see my bag chasers down in Dallas. But we working, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to holler at y'all later. Peace.